is that when you get your check, the first money coming out of that check is going towards your savings and investing. So for example, let's say 20%. I get my check, I take 20% out immediately, put that into savings or investing, and that's done before I pay my bills. So putting my future as a priority above bills.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Working Class Rich. My name is Starsky. In this particular video, we're going to take the top TikTok videos talking about a subject called saving money, keeping more money in your pocket. Because on this channel, what I teach you is, I want you to play the game until you later on learn how to beat the game. But listen, we're going to get into these videos. I want you to hang out with me, really digest this, because this is a subject that many people avoid. But listen, during this time when there's a lot going on in politics and in the world, you need to be thinking, and I need to be thinking, how to keep more money in our pocket, simply because you want to stay liquid. That if prices is fluctuating, you want to make sure you have this money thing in check. So I think, we need to delve into this subject on how do you save your first 1K to 10K in a year. Let's check this out.
I'm gonna tell y'all something that y'all don't want to hear. A lot of y'all got a problem with saving money because y'all try to put fun over paying your bills on time. Some of y'all need to learn how to just stay in the house and just be bored. And to be honest, you shouldn't be bored in the house by yourself. Because you bored in the house by yourself, I mean you're a boring ass person. Because I enjoy being in the house alone by my own fucking self. But when you get paid, instead of trying to spend that last $50 to $100 you got in your paycheck, you trying to find something to do for the fucking weekend, sit your ass down for that weekend and don't do nothing. And then next time you get paid again, sit your ass down again and don't do nothing. So by the time that next month comes, you'll have $200 saved in the bank account. A lot of y'all saying, man, a lot of money. $200 is a lot of fucking money when you ain't got no money. I'll tell you that. Y'all ass up here too concerned about, if I ain't got $1,000 in my account, or if I can't save $1,000, $2,000 at a time, it's not worth me saving. That's not how the fuck it goes. You got to start off with saving. You got to start off with them $5, $10 and work your way up to $100, and then you're gonna work your way up to $500, and then you're gonna work your way up to $1,000. I don't know nobody on earth that went from a standpoint of being broke and then all of a sudden came into $1,000 or $2,000 and said, you know what? I'm gonna try to save this shit. Nobody on earth has ever said that shit. They always spent that shit on some dumb shit that they don't need. What I'm saying is learn to stay your ass in the house sometimes. Every time you step outside, it costs $50 just to walk your ass outside. So why do you keep going outside knowing that you're gonna spend fucking money you go outside? Stay in the house, save that money, and I guarantee over the course of 2 or 3 months, you'll have more money saved than you thought that you ever could save in a short amount of time, I promise you.
Being financially free eliminates 90% of stressors in life. Now, I'm not saying money can buy you happiness, but it'll put you right in front of happy dough. It can't bring back a lost one, but it can ease your pain. When you get sad and get upset, you can just go spend some money and make yourself feel better.
If I had nothing in savings and needed to build it up fast, here's exactly what I would do. First, I would immediately analyze exactly what I need and what I don't need and decrease the things that I don't need or eliminate them altogether. Start with subscriptions. A lot of us spend so much money on subscriptions and we have so many at such low prices that it adds up to a lot that we don't even realize it. Secondly, set a goal for how much you want to save, because it's not enough just to say I want to save money, because you can save $10 and congratulations, you saved. But set a goal, a realistic goal of how much you want to save. I always suggest building up an immediate fund of at least $1,500 to $2,000 for starters. Once you have a goal amount saved, now break that down. Put $200 away this check, $100 away this check. I always recommend putting at least 10% of each check away by paying yourself first. And if you have a hard time saving money, automate the savings. Have an automatic 10% go to a whole separate account that you don't use every day, that you can't just log into and transfer money from your savings to your checking account. And if you want to save really fast, get a side hustle. Get another income that's solely used for building up your savings account. Don't use that money or put it anywhere but inside your savings account. But the very best thing you can do is to start right now. You don't need a lot of money to start building up your savings. Small amounts add up. You just need to be disciplined and you need to be consistent.
You can't be too good to eat noodles, bro. Get you 10 boxes of these. You can't be trying to stack money and save money and you steady eating out. Y'all know that shit add up. Every time you go somewhere, 20 here, 30 here, 40 here. You know what I'm saying? That add up. Y'all don't know how to stay down, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta want this shit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta stay focused, man. You can't try to eat steak and shrimp and lobster and crab legs, man. Look, I'm in the crib. You feel me? I'm in the crib. Eating good. You know what I'm saying? Don't go nowhere. That's number 2. Get you a box of noodles and don't go nowhere. You feel me? And you gonna come up. A lot of y'all be like, bro, that's unhealthy. Is you trying to stack money or you trying to be healthy? A lot of y'all be wasting money on buying alcohol. Stop drinking alcohol and stay in the crib. Eat your noodles. You feel me? Eat your noodles. And then some of y'all be like, bro, it get old. I can't eat noodles for 90 days. I got something for y'all. They having plenty of flavors for y'all who want to try to make excuses. You got beef, you got chicken, you got shrimp, you got all type of noodles. You feel me? And you got different ways you can do them. You feel me? You might want to smash up your chips and put them in your noodles. You might want to add your little egg or 2 in here. It's all different type of ways, man. You want to come up, you gotta eat noodles. Watch how fast you come up. Watch how that money start going up, 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 up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all buy food and then y'all just throw it away, waste it. You feel me?
The first baby step, you get $1,000 saved. The second baby step is you pay off all of your debt except your mortgage. And then after that, build 3 to 6 months of expenses. Now you're on baby step 4, start investing 15% of my paycheck into my 401k. And that's how this...
Interesting enough, I'm going to try not to talk too much during these videos, but I just want to share something with you just so that these are things that I'm considering too. That video with Dave Ramsey, where she is talking about the baby steps, Dave Ramsey started that whole thing because I attended Financial Peace University, but I attended it back in 2008. It came out in 1994. So he was already trying to get people in that mindset of getting in the habit and the discipline of saving, because he noticed something that, everybody was wondering, how do you get out? And with us as middle class people, man, we always try to look for big leaps, man, so we try to run to whatever would get us out of the fire faster. But he taught me back then, and I'm just now putting it in place. Now, I made a lot of mistakes, but he helped me to understand it's little bit by little bit getting into the habit. It's the habit that you want to form, because that habit is a million dollar habit, right? It's a big bucks habit. If you want to see your account grow, you got to take money from somewhere else and put it towards things that you want to put towards, versus, okay, if I wanted to, like many of them said, like you want to go out to eat or something like that, that's taking money from my bank and putting it in somebody else's bank. Dave Ramsey was the first person to really get me to start thinking in that direction, because I wanted to avoid it. I felt like I was talented and gifted enough that somebody was going to notice or discover me, and I was going to go from working my crappy job to being the next big thing. That's how I thought when I was young, and I kept that mentality for a long time, and I avoided this. So, I hope you're not doing that same thing that I'm doing. But listen, I'm trying my best not to talk too much, man, but I had to share that with somebody that's thinking that you can just go to small to big in one hop, skip, and a jump. And that's not a lasting move. You know what I'm saying? Even though it make it happen, but it's the exception. It's not the rule. You feel me what I'm saying? But anyway, let's get into the next one.
Getting to your first $1,000 saved. One of the easiest thing to do is cut that food budget, that eating out budget. According to an article by Barron's, the average American spends about $200 a month on restaurants. That means I know you're spending most of that on Chick-fil-A. Y'all know it ain't good. So what you're going to do, instead of spending about $200 a month on food, just cut it in half. So $100 a month, you can eat whatever you want, figure it out.
I ain't trying to save no money. I ain't trying to not go out to eat.
It ain't my problem. The other $100 you're going to save in your savings account every month. And before the year is up, you have a great chance of having $1,000 saved. Come on. will always love food.
Okay, because in today's economy, we can all stand to save a buck. So here are a few things that my husband and I no longer spend money on anymore. Number one is something that I feel like a lot of people don't think about. We don't spend money on any kind of cleaning pods. So no laundry detergent pods, dishwashing detergent pods, because they don't last long. We buy powder detergent. This lasts us, I'm not kidding, for like 4 months, and we do laundry every single day. We also buy liquid dishwasher detergent, and this stuff lasts us for months as well. We will never go back. Number two for me is any kind of like beauty salon treatments. I don't pay to get my nails done. I do my own press-ons. I have a method that makes them last for weeks. I have done my own lash extensions at home. I do all of my own self-tanning at home. I have done brow lamination at home. There's like something so satisfying about being able to be your own esthetician. Number three is I rarely buy brand new home decor from places like TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Target. Especially with what's on trend today, you can get a super cute, homey, cozy, trendy looking home on a budget with thrifted items. I have thrifted probably 90% of the items in my home. Like this, and this, and this. My little disco corner with my thrifted record player. Number four is Starbucks. I have a whole series on my page like recreating Starbucks recipes. I've done gingerbread lattes, sugar cookie lattes, cold brews, brown sugar shaken espressos. I've done all sorts of things. So yeah, follow influencers that help you recreate your favorite coffee recipes at home, and even better because it's not gonna cost you any money. Number five is unnecessary skin products. It is so easy to be influenced on TikTok to buy skincare products that you don't need. But the thing about that is, the more products you put on your face, the more likely you are to accidentally be allergic to something you're putting on your face, and the more likely you are to break out. Also, I feel like a lot of the products that influencers push on this app nowadays are super overhyped anyway, because your face really doesn't need more than a good cleanser and a good moisturizer. Follow me for more budgeting tips.
Alright, this is for all my young hustlers out there. If you're trying to save your money, this is the same method I used to stack my first $100,000 at 19 years old. So what I would do is every time I got paid, or every time I made a deposit, let's say I was at $1,300 in my bank account, I would discipline myself to only look at $300 as what I really had. So every time I went up another $1,000, I never went under that. So let's say next time I got paid, I'm at $2,100. Really, I only have $100. So what this did was discipline myself to only spend what I needed to spend and not spend my money on shoes or going out with friends. There are times where I'm literally getting paid and I'm at $3,025. You gotta be disciplined to say, I only have $25 to spend until the next time I get paid. This will help you save a lot of money while you're young and teach you a lot of discipline.
Saving tips that I've learned the hard way. Eating at home is always cheaper than eating out. Even when you don't have the time or energy to cook, buying convenience foods like frozen dinners may not be the most economical meal, but they will always be cheaper than going out to eat. I always try to integrate a few I don't feel like cooking options into my regular grocery shopping. Use less. Now this is pretty standard, but I'm going to give you a specific example. I'll buy 3 pounds of ground beef and divide it into 4 meals instead of 3. You really won't miss the 25% in any specific meal, and you get a free bonus meal. Evaluate what you consume, and I mean this content-wise. Don't compare yourself to others. The people who post amazing meals and recipes usually don't have a grocery budget. Cut out anything that makes you feel inadequate. When you're making a menu, try not to pick out just a random handful of meals. Try to find recipes with similar or overlapping ingredients, or find multiple uses for everything that you buy. With that said, limit the number of new recipes that you try to a couple per month or 1 a week, and if it calls for an ingredient that you don't have, look up substitutes for that ingredient, and always try to find something you already have before buying anything new or specialty. And lastly, if your food tastes bland, add salt and pepper before you add anything else. Salt is a natural flavor enhancer, and it's pretty cheap. You'd be surprised how far salt and pepper can go before dipping into your more expensive seasonings or spices.
Whatever money you have in your checking account the night before payday, transfer it into your savings. You're welcome.
Man, boy, did you hear all of that, man? I mean, it's a lot of practical stuff, man, that's like useful. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of people, man, are just uninterested in even pursuing that kind of thing, man. Like the part when they say, okay, now cut out the Starbucks, you know what I'm saying? Or the Dutch Bros, which is one of my favorites, you know, cut out that coffee, you know, that expense. You know, most people feel like, man, Starbucks is a traditional, man. It's something that you need before you go to work, man. So I'm wondering how, listen, tell me in the comments, but I'm wondering how you going to deal with a lot of stuff that you heard, because it all takes change to do it, you know. And then the chick at the end just comes in and says, you know, if you got money, your checking account, just transfer it to the savings account. Basically, you know, she's just saying, hey, listen, let that savings be a focus on what you're trying to pursue, man. And then early on in the video with the young guy talking about how he trains his mind, that if he makes $1,200 every 2 weeks or a week, he tricks his mind to say he only has $200, you know, to let that. It's like, I wish I kind of would have thought of like that when I was his age, man. Because, hey, that's nice. You can live a month on $200, man. You can make that work if you know how to make that work. You understand what I'm saying? So here, I ain't gonna keep belaboring it, man. It's a touchy subject. Hey, let me know what you think about these videos, man. Like and subscribe. Hey, listen, let's get to the next videos.
3 things you need to do if you're struggling to save money. And listen, I know how hard it is because I grew up low income. So as soon as I got the adult monies, I was on my way to Build-A-Bear Heelys to heal that inner child of mine. So starting off with number 3 is I want you to save or invest the same amount you want to spend on a want. Oh, you want those $50 shoes? Before you head on over to that store and spend your money, you need to throw the equivalent $50 into your high yield savings account or your brokerage account. Number 2, you are going to count the number of hours worked instead of the money spent. Let's say you make $20 an hour. You still want those motherfucking $50 shoes. You cannot have those shoes if you are not willing to work 2.5 hours for them. We all know that time is valuable, and sometimes we really, when we want something, we forget that, oh my gosh, in order for me to even have the $100 in my bank account, I literally needed to work 5 hours. And number 1, if you don't got the cash right here, right now, then you are not spending the money. AKA, we are not using any sort of buy now, pay later systems. We are not using our credit card unless we have the equivalent amount in our checking account. These are all extremely impactful guidelines that you can live your financial life by, and they will all allow you to really, 1, define what affordability is to you, and 2, make sure you are not spending more than what you have. Now make sure to give me a follow because I'm trying to make you rich, not just in your wallet, but also in your mind.
If you don't have $400 saved, your finances are on code red. That thing need a resuscitation. That thing need a revival. First step to getting yourself out of financial bondage is saving $400. So that you're not grouped up with the 37% of Americans that can't come up with $400 if an emergency hit. Let me tell you something. Emergencies will come. And if you're not prepared for it, it will put you straight into debt. And you don't want to be in them high interest credit card situations. So step 1, to get your financial life started, set aside $400 for an emergency, either in your savings account or a high yield savings account or a money market. Either way, start. You need $400 saved right now. All right, God bless.
This is how you can start saving money on a low income. This is exactly what I did to save up for my down payment and all of the other expenses that came with buying a home as a single parent, single income, and not a lot of money. So the first thing you're going to want to do is cut something small. It may not feel like you have any money floating around. You're living paycheck to paycheck. Things are pretty tight, but there's something. You want to review your bank statements, see what kind of subscriptions you have that maybe you can get rid of. There's something. Maybe you're paying for Netflix and you can use somebody else's. Maybe you want to downgrade from Apple Music to Pandora, which is free. Like, there's something. So you're going to want to review it, figure out what you can cut, and cut something small. The next thing you're going to want to do is automate your savings. Most businesses at this particular point allow you to get direct deposit for your paycheck. You're going to want to go into whatever that system is for your job and automate your savings. Start with something small. That expense you just cut, go ahead and use that money, that $5, $10, whatever it is, and automatically have it go into a separate savings account. not the same savings account that is attached to your checking account. That money's too easy to transfer. Go ahead and open a separate savings account that is an online savings account, because it's not as easy to get to. It usually takes about 24 to 48 hours to transfer that money. And if you automate it, it goes there automatically when you get paid. You never see it, therefore you never miss it. And last but not least, that savings account that you're opening, that separate account, you want it to be a high yield savings account. More than likely, like I said, it's going to be an online account. I use Ally Banking or Ally. It might not be banking, but they have a higher interest rate than what a normal bank would have. Like Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, all of those have really, really small interest rates, like your APY that you get on the money you have in there, and that's just kind of throwing money away. So you want your money to make money. Even if it's not a lot, it's going to grow. So you're going to want to put it in a high yield savings account. You're welcome in advance.
See, most people think that saving money is about making more money, but it's really about making better choices with what you already have. My bank account was looking real disrespectful just a few years ago. And no, I didn't get a side hustle. I didn't win a lottery. I didn't magically start making more money, but I still saved $10,000 in 9 months. And I'm about to show you exactly how I did. Okay, I made these 5 changes. The first thing I did was I treated savings like a bill. Okay, I started with $50 automatically, moved it to a high yield savings account. Then it was $100, then it was $200, then it was $1,000. The second thing I did was I stopped casual spending. This is where most people mess up, because it wasn't the big expenses that was killing my budget. It was the $20 here or there on my way to the football practice, getting food on the way back from the grocery store. Y'all know how that is. It all added up fast. Another thing I did, I realized that money is a game, right? I had a rule. Anything over $50, I waited 30 days to purchase. I could be a bit extreme. This takes extreme discipline, but anything over that, I waited 30 days. And guess what? 90% of the time, I didn't even want it no more. That kept a lot more money in my account every single month. Another thing I did was I gave my money a job. I'm talking about rent, bills, savings, fun money. If it didn't have a job, I wasn't spending it. I wasn't going on dates. I wasn't spending money that didn't have a purpose. The last thing I did, though, the most important and was the hardest, was not lie to myself and hold myself accountable. I checked my bank account every day. I tracked my spending every week, and I reminded myself what I was doing this for, to have options, to be free, and to really stop stressing about money. After that, about 9 months, had $10,000 sitting in the account, no side hustle, no real sacrifices for real. So if you feeling stuck and you want to save some money, this is your sign to just do 2 to 3 of it. You don't even got to do all 5. You're going to be good, and you're going to thank yourself later. Peace.
All right, so somebody just sent me the savings challenge because they've been seeing all my videos for the 52 envelope card cash stuffing challenge. And they're like, hey, you're really goal oriented. You should do this one and save it $10,000 in 52 weeks by saving every other week. Literally, this is so much money. I looked at my budget because I cannot back down from a challenge. And the biggest one is this number 26 here. So I think strategy wise, I think I would actually go backwards so that around Christmas time, I would only be doing that 275, 475, 275. And I say only like it's not that much, but like, let's be totally honest. That's so much money. And looking at my budget, it's like, I don't know if there's any way I could do that. So what I'm going to try to do is just see how close I can get to each of it and see what like my percentage of completion is every other week. And then from there, every year I could just challenge myself until one year I could make that amount of money, and then challenge myself with extra work, side work, freelancing, side hustles, or whatever else I can do, DoorDash, I don't even know, to make some more money to see if I can make these numbers.
When trying to save money, you gotta live below the means of your job. And I know I ain't got a lot of money on me today, but oh well, y'all know what the real is. A lot of y'all be hitting me up saying y'all know how to save because y'all living above the means of y'all job. And what I mean by this is, if you got like an entry level job, you know, a little job, not like no big boy job, you know, make it like $15 or less, and you buying DoorDash every day, or you ordering clothes all the time, you cannot do that with that type of job. You need to be using that job to set you up for something bigger in the future. Like you cannot afford to be buying clothes every day or be buying food every day. You can't afford it. And some of y'all need to have a reality check on that. As I'm working this little bitty job, not even a little bitty job, but like you working in like a fast food restaurant, like a little clothing store, and you're not making that much. So how are you spending all this money that's living way above the means that you got? And I'm trying to word this as best as I can, but it's kind of hard because some of y'all just need the reality check. Like, if you really look at your pay stubs and how much money you got coming in and what you spending money on, you gonna realize I ain't spending my money in the right places, or I ain't putting my money in the best possible places for my money to make the most amount of money. For example, let's say you making $13 an hour, right? Let's say you working 6 hours a day. It's like 78. And you're working four days a week. like $300, right? 300, like 320, somewhere between them, right? You buy a Shein cart for $150. Half your money gone right there, right? Okay. Let's say you buy lunch every day you at the job, right? Okay. Lunch probably from like $9 to $12. That's $48. That's $150 plus $48. That's $200 right there. Then if you stay with your parents, you know you ain't gonna feel like eating what they want to eat, so you gonna be like, oh, I could DoorDash me some food. A DoorDash alone $25. And now you see where all the money going. Like, I'm just spending my money on dumb stuff when I could have took that $150 I just spent on my Shein cart and put that up. You feel me? And I still have $150, $170 left. And I can still buy me some clothes, just not as many clothes as I thought I could buy or could afford. Even if you do got a big boy job, sometimes that big boy job, you can't buy the car that you want. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need to stack up till you can comfortably afford that car, so you have something to fall back on if you can't afford that car for that time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. You gotta stop living above the means of the job that you're working, or living above the means of your life. That's all I got.
So this is my J Money Challenge update. I told y'all give me till October. You know, last time I was at the risk, we're a little past the risk now. But nah, in all seriousness, I've saved over $1,000. I made that video March 17th. Today is April 16th. And in that video, all I told y'all I was doing was saving $100 a week until October. Because I was joking about the whole Young LA, be with J Money, serving everybody, you know what I'm saying? But I really made this video to educate. All you have to do is be consistent when it comes to money. Whether you saving, whether you paying off debt, whether you trying to reach some other type of goal. And I say this all the time, and I say it every single chance I get. When you just starting to save, start with a comfortable amount. It don't have to, everybody be want to hit a big goal as soon as they start saving. Start with $100 a week. Start with $100 every 2 weeks, $20 a week. Whatever you can do, whatever you can manage, just start and try to stay disciplined and stay consistent with it. Slow and steady is the goal. And with what I did, see, I told you I was going to do $100 a week. Well, I got this side hustle that paid me $40 for 4 hours once every week. It's a seasonal side hustle. Instead of just taking $100, I was like, well, I'll take what I get, you know, what I make from that, and I'll just pull that out and withdraw that and stack that. And so, of course, that added an extra $60 on top of, you know, the $100 I said I was going to be pulling out. But because I told y'all I only wanted blue faces, all these 20s, every 5 20s I get, they're going to go to the bank. I'm going to deposit them, and I'm going to withdraw back with all 100s. And that was so uncomfortable because I don't even like showing money. I don't even like having like cash, physical cash. But I'm making this video as a, like I said, an educational purposes only. I ain't trying to flex on nobody. I ain't trying to stunt. I'm really showing y'all like it can be done slow and steady just by being disciplined, just by being consistent.
All right, you know, this wraps it up, man. You know, another episode. You know, listen, if you liking what you're hearing, you liking the vibe that I'm giving or whatever, listen, subscribe to the channel, you know, because you can, if you visit my channel, I got a lot more teachings and different things because I'm trying to get you to learn how to play the game so that one day you can rise up and you can beat the game on the level that you on. But if you look at my channel, I explain a whole lot of this. You know, we got a lot of good substance out of this particular reaction video that I just did, and I'm hoping that you got something. I mean, I was listening to it and there was a lot of things that I've heard before, but there was other things that I didn't consider before, and so it's giving me more mental tools for my toolbox, you know. So I hope you feel the same. Listen, if you like what I'm doing, go ahead and like and subscribe, you know, go ahead, become a part of this community, because I strictly talk to working class people. That's what the channel is about. Working class rich, learning how to build the life with the tools that you got. You know, I'm fumbling, you know, part of me trying to impress, you know, but at least I apologize. Let me dial back. But that's what I teach, because I'm a truck driver by trade, you know, and I moved up in rank